What's up, YouTube? Well Rested Piper here. Today, smoking a little Thanksgiving Day in my briar. And I thought I'd talk to you guys today about a video game that I've been playing. I'm not sure if you guys are into video games. Some of you probably are. But it's a hobby that I indulge in and have since I was really little. Something I grew up doing. And a few weeks ago, a company called Rockstar released a game called Red Dead Redemption 2. There's been hype about it all over the place. If you're into gaming at all, I'm sure you've heard of it. But I decided to pick it up on launch day and give it a go. Didn't really play the first one a whole lot, but it's very celebrated and people really, really liked it. I didn't dislike it. It just happened to come out sort of near the end of the PlayStation 3 era and right at the time when I built myself my first gaming PC, so I sort of moved from consoles to almost exclusively PC for a while. Maybe like 6 months to a year into the PlayStation 4 life cycle is when I came back into console gaming. That's a story for a different time. So Red Dead Redemption 2 came out a few weeks ago, and it's been really widely celebrated. And I think it's probably like a good contender for Game of the Year. And what it is an Old West game. And you know what? As a gamer, there's not too many Old West video games out there. There's only a few. One of the earliest ones I can remember is on the Super Nintendo. And it was just sort of a on-rails arcade shooter type game where you shot people off a covered wagon as they were trying to hop on it. Don't even remember what it's called, but I think I have the cartridge somewhere in my house. And then after that, I don't really remember another Old West game until the early 2000s. On the PS2, Red Dead Revolver came out, and that was the predecessor to the Red Dead Redemption series. And it was, again, another on-rails, like, arcade-style shooter where you did shootouts and duels and things like that with some story and cutscenes mixed in. I don't really remember a whole lot about it, but I did play that. And then in 2010... Rockstar released Red Dead Redemption, which was a rebranding of the Red Dead IP, and it was an open world Wild West game where you played an outlaw named Arthur. Nope, I'm sorry. You played an outlaw named John Marston. It was set in 1911. And you're approached by the government saying that they want you to go and hunt down all the old members of your gang and kill them because of what you guys used to do. And you comply because you just want to live a normal life with your wife and child. And so John goes back and, finds all his old comrades and hunts them down. And it leads to this really intense shootout at the end when John goes home and he hears yelling outside of his house. His wife, Abigail, and son are in the house, and he steps out, and it's a whole squad of, lawmen. And he pulls out his guns and takes out as many of them as he can before they all shoot him and he dies. And so you spend the whole game playing as this character, and then you watch him die at the end. And then the game picks up a few years later, and you take over and play as his son. And I believe that's how it lets you play for the rest of the game. There's not really any more story at that point. His son had started hunting down the lawman who killed his dad and sort of went in a bad direction, which is really not the direction that John wanted his son's life to go, but that is what it is. And then, since the game is open world, once the story's over, it doesn't end. You can still play in the world and do things. Just the main story is over. And I never really played that one too much, but I know the story more or less. And took place in 1911. And Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually a prequel. It takes place in 1899. And this time you're playing as an outlaw named Arthur Morgan, who used to run with John's gang. Really, I should say John ran with his gang. Arthur was with them longer. But the game starts off kind of slow, which is a nice change of pace. Normally with games nowadays, it's just straight up action immediately, and you don't really have a whole lot of time to like observe or really look at how good a game looks, you know, at the very beginning, because you got to focus on other things. But with this game, it starts off with a job gone bad. You don't even see the job, but you're on the run from the law, you and the whole gang, and you fled to some mountains in the middle of winter, and so it's snowing. And some of your people are hurt and you're looking for shelter, and it really starts to make you appreciate the people in your camp, you know, the people that you interact with constantly in this game. And it was just a really nice change of pace to see a game start a little more slowly. And the whole game sort of has a slower pace to it. There's simulations for almost everything. Arthur has this camp with, you know, all the other people that he, you know, lives with on the road. And, you know, you have to go hunting to provide food. And you can actually skin the animals and sell the hides. And all the townsfolk and things like that that you run into have their own daily lives, and the whole world is just simulated. So as you're playing, all these things are continuing to go on around you, and you can really just stop and look and watch things like rabbits running through the grass, or birds flying in the sky, or you can go and track deer or elk or bears or wolves and go hunting and feed your camp. You do all these missions for all these people. And it's really one of the deepest and most rewarding games I've played thus far this year. And I can't really say enough good things about it. There are some bugs here and there, but that's going to be expected for any game. As far as I know, there haven't been any patches released for it yet, which is almost unheard of, you know, in today's gaming world. I think the game is stable enough that it just works, and you really rarely run into problems, or at least I've really not run into any problems that hinder the game in any way. And this game is just massive, and it's beautiful, and I've put, I want to say maybe 40 to 50 hours, if not more, into this game so far, and I'm not quite done with the story yet. I'm getting towards the end, I know I am, but I still haven't even explored the whole map. There are still whole sections of the world that I haven't even seen because I just haven't gotten over there. And it's just truly wild that they took these 7 or 8 years to craft this world. And the detail is just amazing. And if you're a gamer in any way, shape, or form, and you have an Xbox One or a PS4, and you haven't played this yet, I would recommend it if you're a fan of like the Old West. And if you're not, then it might just not be for you. And you might not even want to look into it. If you're on a PC, they haven't announced any PC release yet, but maybe soon. But there's no promise on that. But for now, I'm gonna enjoy my pipe. I'm going to finish this, go inside, and maybe play some more Red Dead. Maybe see if I can finish it today. But for now, I want to wish you all happy piping. Bye-bye.